How did Camilla's body language betray her interest in Charles? And what did it say about her relationship with the Queen? Keep watching as body language experts break it down. King Charles III and Queen Camilla started their romantic dalliance all the way back in the early 1970s. Though their relationship didn't survive its first go-around, Camilla's body language quickly pointed to just how comfortable she was around the future king. Pictured together in 1972 at a polo game, Charles had his arms casually draped over a fence while Camilla leaned up against a car. Body language expert Judy James told Express that Camilla's affection for Charles, quote, always compares to an iceberg, with very little emotion being shown in public, but with some occasional glimpses of the powerful relationship that lies beneath. One of the most significant hints came from this photo op, where, unlike his other dates, Camilla put it all on the table, James told Express. Her direct stare, her lack of a compliant, flattering smile, and the way it is Charles looking rather awkward and besotted under her gaze all seems to tilt the confidence, power, and even status signals in Camilla's direction. Queen Camilla may have been around for decades, but it took years for her to be allowed to marry King Charles III. After the death of Princess Diana, Charles and Camilla had to walk a very careful line. Diana had been dearly beloved by the public, and Camilla was seen as the other woman, who even the royals couldn't approve of.
Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
Charles and Camilla did forge ahead with their relationship, however, which led to their wedding in 2005. You'd think that a royal wedding would bring the warring factions together, but Judy James examined the wedding photographs and revealed that everything between Camilla, Queen Elizabeth II, and Prince Philip wasn't as peachy as it seemed. She told Express, at the poses after their wedding, the Queen and Philip stood back and away from the couple on the steps, which prevented any happy family photographs being taken, and it looks very much as though Anne is equally unwilling to look anything more than frosty here, too. Given that the Queen reportedly told Charles after having several martinis that she would not condone his adultery, nor forgive Camilla for not leaving Charles alone to allow his marriage to recover, the body language makes sense. Princess Anne has maintained a regular reputation among the British public as the hardest-working royal. She embodies the stiff upper lip mentality, only comments on the record when necessary, and lets her body language do a lot of the talking. She also, despite her aura, has had a particularly scandalous personal life, including a short-lived romance with Andrew Parker Bowles. With that in mind, it goes without saying that Camilla and Anne have been connected for decades, and their body language points to some very awkward shared moments. Attending the Order of the Garter service at Windsor Castle in 2005, Camilla and Anne were pictured together, but it was Anne's closed-off approach that had experts dissecting the scene. Judy James told Express, there seems to be a sense of exclusion here as Anne stands closer to her brother to apparently push Camilla out of the small group here, even raising her arm so that her elbow forms a barrier gesture. Despite being on rocky footing for many years, Camilla and the late Queen Elizabeth did appear to put their issues behind them over time. Camilla quickly proved herself as a dedicated working royal, supporting Charles and by and large keeping scandal to a minimum. She and the Queen reportedly bonded over their shared love of equestrianism, too. By the time the Queen's Platinum Jubilee rolled around in 2022, she made it clear she wanted Camilla to be known as Queen Consort once Charles took the throne. This was a huge indication that their relationship had gotten significantly better. As Camilla mourned the loss of the Queen in September 2022, her body language did most of the talking. According to communication coach Sonia Beldam, Camilla's posture and facial positioning during the funeral displayed just how much she had come to admire the monarch. Beldam told The Independent, by tightening mouths, we can more easily control our facial muscles. All the female royals are composed with slightly pursed lips, which helps hold back emotion. Her shoulders are horizontal, neck relaxed, her chin is slightly dipped, which is no surprise in grief and often portrays a person considering something upsetting. Though Camilla assumed her new title following Queen Elizabeth's death, she appeared to step into a newfound sense of authority following King Charles III's coronation. Also, having been crowned during the ceremony, Camilla became the most senior female royal within the firm.
May thy servant Camilla, who wears this crown, be filled by thine abundant grace.
Her appearance at Wimbledon 2023, a few weeks after the main event, spoke to her emboldened role. Commenting on her body language and behavior during the tennis championships was expert Darren Stanton, who analyzed her movements for Showbiz Cheat Sheet. He told the publication, as she arrived at Wimbledon, Queen Camilla came across completely confident and relaxed. In one of the shots where she was walking next to an assistant, her posture was upright and she towered him. It was almost like a display of authority, which showed that Camilla was the one with the power. Although Camilla is now the most senior female royal in the British firm, her own sense of confidence has seemingly wavered over time. She has regularly missed out on receiving adoration from the public, with YouGov still reporting her approval rating at 42%, and that certainly seemed to be on her mind when interacting with Princess Catherine and Queen Letizia of Spain back in 2019. Letizia is a young dynamic queen who worked as a broadcast journalist before marrying into the Spanish royal family. Catherine, meanwhile, is the third most approved of royal behind Prince William and Princess Anne. Such public affection has not extended to Camilla, and while Catherine and Letizia were chatting with one another, she looked incredibly awkward, out of place, and even exuded frostiness, Judy James told Express. While the two younger royals seemed to get on like a house on fire, Camilla was seen lurking in the background with no one to talk to. Prince William may be Princess Diana's son, but he has had to figure out how to walk the line with Camilla. As the heir to the throne, William is the definition of the firm's future image. Young, well-liked, and a father of 3. He represents the modern monarchy in more ways than one, and his dynamic with Camilla is a case study of how to put resentments in the past. Analyzing their behavior towards one another, Judy James told Express that William has bent his thoughts and personal feelings in favor of the institution. And Camilla, for that matter, saying, "Prince William has been making relationship compromises most of his life, and one of the most challenging must have been the one with his father's second wife. His loyalty to his mother and the fact that he was old enough to witness Diana's pain over Camilla must have left some form of resentment. Step-parenting is always a challenge, but there are no signs between Camilla and either of Charles's sons that she has ever attempted a maternal role with them. Their joint appearance at the Invictus Games in 2014 was a perfect example of this careful consideration. The two looked friendly while sharing a laugh, but not overly connected. While Prince William has made attempts to smooth the waters with Camilla, Prince Harry has not followed suit. Taking aim at her in his memoir Spare, Harry quickly asserted his thoughts on his stepmother, calling her, quote, the villain, quote, a third person in the marriage, and a wannabe royal hell-bent on shooting others down to boost her own public standing.
She had a reputation or an image to rehabilitate.
Harry's estimation shouldn't have come as a huge surprise. Even when he was still in the United Kingdom, his body language pointed to his loyalty to his late mother and his discomfort around Camilla. Judy James told Express, "There's always been an air of politeness about Harry's body language with Camilla. Harry seemed to go through the motions, though, with some signals of a more tentative approach when he was younger, when a hand barrier with his hands clasped in front of his torso acted as some kind of a buffer." If international visits and interactions with her daughter-in-law weren't already telling, body language expert Judy James notes that even though Camilla is technically of a higher ranking within the royal family, she has regularly expressed nervous energy around Princess Catherine, which can mean that the princess's decorum and star power likely make her anxious. Focusing on Camilla and Catherine's interaction at the Royal Pavilion, James told Express, there were strong signals of positive anticipation from Charles as his daughter-in-law Kate walked up the steps to greet him, while Camilla appeared to perform an even warmer, affectionate smile aimed at William. Things quickly went south, however, James went on. There was a small gesture of anxiety from Camilla as the very elegant William and Kate approached up the steps as she lifted her bag in front of her torso in a barrier gesture. If there's one thing that Camilla loves, it's horses. Equestrian-related activities are preferred by many members of the royal family, and as Royal Ascot 2023 rolled around, Camilla and King Charles were increasingly invested. Their horse, Desert Hero, was competing in the race. Watching emphatically as Desert Hero raced in the King George V Stakes, Camilla and Charles both expressed their desire to win in different ways. Judy James told Express just how much Camilla's posture indicated her competitive streak. She told the publication, "Charles is rather gentle in the way he urges his horse on, and it's interesting that a display of more pent-up emotion at the win ended in a rather tearful look. Camilla looks far more determined and even aggressive in her encouragement of a win." Focusing on just how happy the couple looked amid all the changes they've experienced in 2023, James concluded, "I think it was a moment of release for both of them that might have brought them both close to tears."